Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 109 based on novel. So let's start. The proposal to revoke the guest elder's status requires the consent of at least half of the attending emperors. Therefore, abstaining from voting on this proposal is essentially equivalent to disapproval. Di Yang stared at Di Fu. He had always valued Di Fu. They were among the earliest emperors of the Yangfeng ancient kingdom, with Di Yang being the first and Di Fu the second. The earliest emperors were relatively united. Later, Di Fu abandoned the Han Yuan bloodline and chose reincarnation, which made him even more formidable. Through the use of formations to refine his body, without relying much on external forces, he had achieved the ultimate realm of life forms, which shocked the entire origin continent. Di Yang could also judge that Di Fu was likely the next Di Qing. Even if he couldn't break through in this reincarnation era, he would have a much longer time after leaving the origin world to do so. Di Fu's potential was far greater than that of the three emperors combined, so he had always maintained a good relationship with Di Fu. Who would have thought that today, on such a trivial matter, Di Fu would actually stand on the opposite side of him? Di Yang, Di Fu said. Luo He has only been a god king for a little over 200 epochs. If we strip him of his guest elder status for not accepting tasks for over 200 epochs, it would make us look bad if this got out. After all, the power to refuse tasks was granted by the ancestor. Di Yang looked at Di Fu. The emperor spoke gently, but his words were not persuasive. Forget it. The Emperor Yang immediately vanished, retreating. Once he left, the Emperor 11 and Emperor Wu also departed. Does he really think the Flame-Wind Ancient Kingdom was like it was when he was the Emperor? Emperor Kong sneered. He still wants to do as he pleases. Soon, one by one, the emperors began to leave. Emperor Chu. The Emperor Fu called out, and soon the vast space was left with only the Emperor Fu and Emperor Chu. Emperor Fu, thank you this time. Emperor Chu smiled, knowing that the emperor's final vote was crucial. If he chose to agree, then Luo He would lose his guest elder status. So his final vote was very important. Emperor Fu smiled and said, in this matter, Luo He is indeed not at fault. I have also seen the task that Di Yang and the others assigned to Luo He. They asked him to split into 192 avatars to take care of the Han Yuan bloodline beast eggs for a full 3,000 epochs. For an ordinary second-level god king, 3,000 epochs is indeed not a long time. But for Luo He, who reached the second-level god king realm in just over 200 epochs, this is a crucial time for his rapid advancement in cultivation. Anyone would refuse to delay their cultivation for 3,000 epochs. Yes, Luo He is at a crucial stage in his cultivation. If he gets stuck at a bottleneck for a long time, unable to make any progress for millions of years, then it's not a big deal to let him take on this task now. Di Chu nodded. But now is indeed not the right time for him to take it on. However, after Luo He became a divine king, he hasn't taken on any tasks. Di Fu said. I think if we let him take on a task quickly, Di Yang and the others will have no reason to complain. Taking on a task is fine. Di Chu nodded, but it shouldn't affect Luo He's cultivation. I have a task for you, take a look. Emperor Fu immediately sent a task to Emperor Chu. Guard the entrance of the first treasure land, Chenju realm, for 1,000 epochs. Emperor Chu's eyes lit up as soon as he saw it. Good, 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 this is good. Emperor Fu smiled and said, although guarding the entrance requires splitting into 36 avatars, it doesn't require much effort. You only need to fight when enemies invade. The chances of fighting in these 1,000 epochs are few and far between. I haven't seen it often. Emperor Chu nodded with a smile. Pretty good. Such tasks are the kind that guest king gods are eager to get. First, the mental burden is minimal, and it's not tiring at all. Second, it provides an opportunity to explore some areas of the first treasure land, Chenju realm. Then I'll send this task to Luo He. Emperor Fu nodded. Soon, Emperor Chu cheerfully bid farewell to Emperor Fu, clearly in a good mood. This vast and boundless space was left with only Emperor Fu. Luo He. As Emperor Fu stood there, a huge formation emerged in the entire vast and boundless space. The formation operated, naturally revealing countless secrets of the origin continent, among which the nodes related to Luo He were quite conspicuous. From the primordial universe, through reincarnation, to the origin continent, upon arrival, he became an eternal true god. After 100 years, he became a god king. Another 200 years, he reached the second level of god king. Then he gained the favor of the supreme rules. With this potential, when I leave the origin continent in the future, he should become my companion. Di Fu thought. When it comes to deciphering the mysteries of the origin continent, Di Fu is the number one. Like the Wind Empress, Earth God King, Mother River Lord, the mysterious existence of the Shadow Heaven Realm, and Fire Ancestor, although they can all rival the Emperors, they cannot cultivate into ultimate life forms. Huyang City. This task? Luo Feng looked at the task of guarding the entrance to the Pillar Heaven Realm. This task requires 1,000 years, with only 10 million guest elder merits, but Luo Feng was still very shocked. How did such a good task fall into my hands? Such tasks are usually snatched by guest elder god kings. The Chenju realm is the most precious land on the origin continent. The two ancient nations spare no expense to completely seal off the entrance here. Other forces can't sneak in at all. If you want to get in, you can only fight your way in. Luo Feng knew this. The Chenju realm is definitely guarded by an emperor and a monarch. The Yangfeng ancient nation will assign an emperor, and the Thunder ancient nation will assign a monarch. These are the core forces guarding it. Di Fu did not consume too many precious treasures, he merely refined his body using formations to reach the ultimate realm of life. According to Wei Lun's accumulation, he was the most likely to reach the ultimate realm in this era, after Di Qing and the rulers of the myriad realms. According to the ancestor, after leaving the origin continent, there are numerous crises, and survival is difficult, Di Fu thought. With Di Yang and the others' temperaments and their level of strength and potential, they are not suitable to be companions. Only Luo He could be my companion, and I might even need his assistance. Among the few things that Di Fu valued on the entire origin continent, Luo He was one of them. Luo Feng, Master Di Chu sent a message, have you received the mission? Yes, Master. How did such a good mission come to me? Luo Feng asked. Emperor Fu gave it to you, Di Chu said. This time, Di Yang and the others made a proposal to revoke your guest elder status. At that time, 5 people, Di Yang, D11, Di Wu, Di Yuan, and Di Wu, agreed. If a 6th emperor agrees, your guest elder status will be revoked. Luo Feng understood. Besides Di Yang and their core team, there was also Di Yuan? Di Wu? The emperor has assigned this task to you. Here is a map of the Heavenly Pillar Realm, Chenju Realm, for you. Make sure to seize the opportunity, Di Chu immediately sent over a map. All right, I will head to the Heavenly Pillar Realm now. After confirming with his master, Luo Feng naturally chose to accept the task. The moment he accepted the task was the moment he set off. Whoosh! A black-clad avatar of Luo Feng quietly left Huyang City, heading towards the entrance of the Heavenly Pillar Realm. There are a total of 36 entrances to the Heavenly Pillar Realm, and Luo Feng arrived at the nearest one. This entrance was located in the middle of a vast wilderness, and with Luo Feng's realm, he could sense a vast area of distorted void here. Whoosh tilde tilde. Luo Feng voluntarily flew into it. As soon as he entered, endless golden light enveloped the vast area. Luo Feng immediately saw a skeletal figure sitting cross-legged in the distance. This skeletal figure had white and smooth bones, but its eyes were normal and calm as it looked at Luo Feng. Lord God of Luoha. The skeletal figure stood up and smiled, my task has come to an end, and I guessed who would take over. It turns out to be the newly promoted second-level God of Luoha. It seems that the ruling emperor places great importance on the Lord God of Luoha. Tasks like nurturing 192 primordial bloodline beast eggs have always been the responsibility of Emperor Wu, so it was she who issued the task. As for the task of guarding the Chenju realm, being the top treasure land, only the ruling emperor is qualified to issue this task. Just luck, Luo Feng smiled. You first accompany me to meet Emperor Xian. The skeletal figure said. The defense of the Chenju realm is mainly the responsibility of Emperor Xian. We are merely assisting the emperor. Luo Feng nodded. Thank you, God King Baifeng. King Baifeng, one of the guest elder kings of the Yangfeng ancient kingdom, was a second-level king of the Tao of Life and had a life-and-death bond with Emperor Xian. Whoosh! King Baifeng split off a clone to accompany Luo Feng further inside. The entrance formation was a combination of the formations from the Yangfeng ancient kingdom and the Thunder ancient kingdom. In addition to King Baifeng, there was also a guest elder king from the Thunder ancient kingdom guarding it, a figure with water blue hair. Chenju. Luo Feng noticed a towering Chenju. The Chenju was so high that its end was not visible. 36 pillars of heaven, each at 36 entrances, said the God King Bai Yu. They support the entire pillar realm, and each pillar has its own opportunities. You can take a look when you guard them in the future. Luo Feng nodded. If he could arrange 36 avatars to guard the entrances, he could naturally split a few more avatars to explore the pillar realm. We can only explore the outskirts of the pillar realm, said the God King Baifeng. Only the two great royal families can explore the inner regions of the pillar realm. I know, Luo Feng understood when he received the information from his master, Emperor Chu. The pillar realm is different from ordinary treasures. This is the most crucial part of the treasures left by the Yuan, and the two ancient nations spare no expense to monopolize it. Chenju. Luo Feng looked far away, feeling the oppressive force brought by Chenju, an oppression that surpassed that of a complete great Tao. Delving from the entrance, passing through two grand formations, and flying for a long time, they finally arrived at the inner region of the Chenju realm. The boundary of the inner region was sealed by formations. Your Majesty. The Baiyu God King bowed respectfully. A figure with terrifying pressure stepped out from the formation. He was dressed in a completely black robe adorned with golden secret patterns, his eyes cold. Luo, he greets your Majesty. Luo Feng knew that the person was Emperor Xian, the former master of the Guishu Emperor. From his conversations with the Guishu Emperor, he sensed that the Guishu Emperor was still very grateful to his master. Royal family rules. Emperor Xian looked at Luo Feng. You are responsible for guarding the entrance. You can explore the outer areas, but you are forbidden from entering the inner regions of the celestial pillar realm. Understood, Luo Feng replied. While guarding the entrance, once you spot an intruder, cooperate with the formation and resist with all your might. I will arrive as quickly as possible, Di Xian said coldly. Understood, Luo Feng replied. Go, Di Xian immediately turned and returned to the internal formation area. Luo Feng sighed inwardly. Among the several emperors who practiced the pure source bloodline, Di Xian was already considered the one with the best temper, being merely extremely proud and concerned with hierarchy. But it was precisely because of his pride that he still cared about his reputation when doing things. God King Baifeng, let's go and take over. Luo Feng looked at God King Baifeng aside. God King Baifeng nodded slightly, and immediately transformed into 36 clones. Let's go, I will lead the way. Luo Feng also split into 36 clones and went to different entrances of Chenju realm for handover. The Time Origin Dao, Space Origin Dao, Life Origin Dao, and Infinite Origin Dao all have clone techniques, but they are all different. There are only 3 clones in total of the clone technique of the timeline, including the main body. Past, present, and future. But each clone has a complete body, soul, and peak strength, just like 3 complete selves facing the enemy. And these 3 selves can also exist in different timelines. The same is true for the space path. There is a limit to the number of clones that can be cultivated, but the powerful clones that can be cultivated can maintain their intact body and soul. The 2 paths of life and infinity are different. The path of life has an infinite number of clones, but they are all differentiated from oneself. For example, Luo Feng only has 1 powerful soul. If he divides part of it, the divided soul will be much weaker. There are only so many life forms in the world that he can control. The more you branch out, the weaker you become. The same is true for the infinite path. It is said to be infinite, but in fact it is still unique. This is already the envy of other paths. Destruction, extremes, cause and effect, matter, and the world generally cannot be cultivated in the art of clones. Like Yuan's illusory clone, it is actually a means that exists only in the origin continent, a Tao that does not exist, the void realm Tao. The path that I am taking now is to unite the illusion and the real world. This is also a fusion path. I want to unify the virtual world Tao and the world Tao, but this road is more difficult than Luo Feng's path. Life and destruction, which Luo Feng regards as the foundation, are all referenced by the complete Tao. The original illusory path has no reference. Still want to be one? Follow the official account, Origin Continent Reading, and see the fastest updates every day. Nature is even more ethereal and out of reach. Brother Luo He, this guarding task will be handed over to you from now on. After the handover was completed, God King Bai Feng and Luo Feng said with a smile, if you are guarding here, you may be a little angry. You have to be more patient. I understand. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Chenju realm is the most treasured land, and Kuching is at most a guard. The only ones who truly enter Chenju realm to explore deeply are the two high-ranking royal families. The two royal families have many Han Yuan bloodlines, and many of them have bad tempers. Divine King Bai Feng nodded and flew away immediately. Luo Feng watched the other party go. God King Bai Ye and Di Xian are life and death friends, and they have completely joined the Yangfeng ancient kingdom. But it seems that they have also suffered a lot of ill will. Luo Feng said to himself. The guest ministers of the second level of the God King who are highly used by the royal family of Yangfeng ancient kingdom are all extraordinary. After all, the royal family of Yangfeng ancient kingdom simply looked down on him who was weak. In terms of strength, Divine King Bai Feng is comparable to King Chenju and Emperor Guishu, and he is also very famous. Of course, in the eyes of the outside world, Luo Feng can compete with the Lord of the Food Kingdom at the first level of the God King. Now that he has reached the second level of the God King, his number of clones should not be far behind those of God King Bai Deng and Emperor Guishu. The most important thing is that Luo Feng's rise is extremely fast and his potential is high. Emperors and monarchs must also pay attention. The group of Di Yang, D11, and Di Wu targeted Luo Feng in this way. In addition to their grievances with Di Chu, they also felt the threat posed by Luo Feng. Therefore, I want to deprive him of his guest status so that Luo Feng cannot get some opportunities. However, the Emperor Fu asked Luo Feng to guard the Chenju realm. The ruling emperor had the greatest power, so he favored Luo Feng, and there was nothing Di Yang and the others could do. 1. Luo Feng controlled the formation disk that was handed over, and the power of the formation shrouded the surroundings with terror. The 36 auxiliary formations are integrated with the central core formation, and the entire formation is mainly controlled by Di Xian. Luo Feng could feel it. I can only guide and mobilize the power of the formation. With the power of the formation, we can suppress the Guishu Emperor and Wuxin God King. Luo Feng confirmed this. The Yangfeng ancient kingdom's formation in the first treasure land is also the most terrifying. The Samsara small building team cannot advance with the formation unless they are led by the Queen of the Wind Capital or the God King of the Earth. But in that case, the emperors and monarchs guarding the two ancient countries will also come to kill at the same time. The two of them cooperate with the formation, and their power you can imagine how strong it is. Although I am a guard, I dare not let the practitioners in privately. Because Di Xian, as the controller of the formation, can also sense all movements here. Luo Feng's purpose is just to make it 10 times and 100 times more difficult for outsiders to break the formation. If there are no defenders, a fixed formation disk will be too easy to break. With the Guardian on your side, you must first kill the Guardian. Under the protection of the power of the formation, you want to kill Luo Feng's clone who has reached the third level of the God King? The difficulty can be imagined. According to the information given by the Master, the biggest opportunity outside the Chenju world is the 36 Chenju. Luo Feng's mind moved, and he immediately separated a clone and flew towards the towering Chenju in the distance. Column. As a guest, he could not enter the opportunities inside Chenju realm, so he could only explore the opportunities outside. The sky pillar is so high that there is no end in sight. Luo Feng landed in front of this pillar, and he immediately noticed a figure wearing purple armor not far away. Demon King Yanuo. Luo Feng recognized him at a glance. Demon King Yanuo is one of the top 3 most powerful among the Kaching God Kings of the Thunder Ancient Kingdom. He follows the path of destruction and cultivates the Han Yuan bloodline. His strength is extremely terrifying, and he is also highly used by the Thunder Ancient Kingdom. God King Yanuo raised his head and glanced at Luo Feng. God King Luoha. God King Yanuo smiled slightly. Although he was arrogant, he did not dare to underestimate this God King Luoha. The momentum of God King Luoha is indeed a bit terrifying. Many ancient powerful people in the origin continent believed that God King Luoha is expected to be comparable to the Emperor level. Demon King Yanuo. Luo Feng nodded, and then carefully looked at this towering pillar. There are countless secret patterns spreading on this Chenju. Luo Feng watched. Boom! The spreading secret pattern turned into a seemingly endless huge axe under Luo Feng's observation. This axe is so huge that Luo Feng can only see part of it. Follow the public account and read on Origin Continent to see updates as soon as possible every day. It felt like the axe broke all the rules and split everything. Luo Feng was completely shocked. Luo Feng watched obsessively for several days before he stopped. The artistic conception of this axe is indeed far beyond that of a complete avenue. Luo Feng thought. It feels like it has some charm of the bloody scales of the Star Tower. It's just that the secret patterns of the bloody scales of the Star Tower are vaster and more detailed. Just watching it requires beyond the will of the God King, this pillar. I feel that the ultimate will of the God King is enough to see, and the secret patterns are relatively rough and random. Luo Feng can judge at a glance that there are about 3,600 circling ones. The intertwined secret patterns led Luo Feng to see the giant axe map. The secret pattern is much simpler than the red scales of the Star Tower. But the artistic conception is extremely lofty, and the viewing pressure is relatively low. The normal second-level God King in the Origin Continent can see this hidden scene of Chenju. This axe feels like the path of destruction. It's just much deeper than the Tao of destruction. In the future, you can learn more. Luo Feng was not in a hurry to immerse himself in it. His main focus now is on the 24 phase forms. The most important thing is for the world's life forms to break through as soon as possible. This kind of artistic conception far exceeds the scene of a complete Tao, and the secret pattern is so simple. It is certainly much more difficult to comprehend than to comprehend the complete Tao. This is also the reason why the 2 royal families are willing to let guests watch. It's hard to make big gains. It would be great to be able to understand a small scale and create a powerful secret method. Luo Feng watched 36 heavenly pillars one after another. Each pillar had secret patterns circling around it. With Luo Feng's mind and will, he could clearly see the field that the secret patterns eventually turned into, or the giant axe that split everything. Or a rushing river with no end. Or a strange cube, or a flaming lotus. In every scene, the artistic conception is higher than the Tao. I heard that after realizing the complete Tao, there is no clear guidance for the Tao, and you need to explore in the dark. Luo Feng thought. These 36 heavenly pillars are probably a lamp in the darkness which can guide the direction. These 36 heavenly pillars are mainly related to the 9 original Taos that originated from the continent. There are 4 heavenly pillars for the path of life and the path of destruction. Senior Yuan, you do have good intentions. Luo Feng could feel the kindness of Senior Yuan towards the younger practitioners. Luo Feng briefly explored the outer areas of the Chenju realm, and then settled down to guard the area and focus on his practice. Time passes by. 2 figures flew into the formation. The talismans and formations they carried resonated without any obstruction. Luo Feng, who was in charge of guarding, looked up. It turns out that God King Luohe is guarding the place. One of the figures said with a smile. Luo Feng also smiled. King Chenju, long time no see. When I first went to the treasure land, infinite space, I met the king of heavenly Mu God. As the God King of the royal family of the Yangfeng ancient kingdom, God King Chenju was very friendly to him, which was very rare. Luo Feng naturally remembered it deeply. We are destined. When God King Luohe went to the infinite space, he was still in the realm of chaos. At that time, I was the first level of the God King. God King Chenju said with a smile. Now God King Luohe has reached the second level of the God King, and it's still the first level of the God King. The heavenly Mu God King is also very sad. His resources are much better than Luo Feng. He can enter many treasure lands and obtain many precious resources. At the first level of the God King, he disdained the use of Hunyuan bloodline. He aspires to reach the second level of the God King first, and then use the Hunyuan bloodline if he is completely stuck. Chenju, leave quickly. Another second-level existence of the royal God King frowned and shouted. He didn't even bother to say a word to Luo Feng. Let's go. God King Chenju and Luo Feng said goodbye and left with their companions. Luo Feng watched them leave. In the blink of an eye, Luo Feng has been guarding the Chenju realm for 27 centuries. During this period, 2 royal God Kings have entered the Yangfeng ancient kingdom and 3 royal God Kings have entered the Thunder ancient kingdom. The royal God King from the Thunder ancient kingdom just glanced at Luo Feng, was too lazy to say a word, and then entered the depths of Chenju realm. I've heard a long time ago that the royal and God Kings of the Thunder ancient kingdom generally cultivate the Hunyuan bloodline, and some royal families treat all non-royal people as slaves. Luo Feng secretly sighed. Compared to the Yangfeng ancient kingdom, it is slightly better. In peace, over the years, the 24 phases are also realized one phase at a time. As the accumulation deepens, the faster and faster it goes until it is completely realized. It's done. All Luo Feng's clones scattered in infinite space, Dream Realm, Chenju World, Hometown Primitive Universe Area, Huyang City, etc. all showed smiles at this moment. This video will end here.